Okay guys, it's your boy Don Zizi from All Naija Beats again, and I'm here with another tutorial on how to make Afrobeat. I've gotten a lot of emails from viewers of my YouTube channel who have been asking me about how do they make typical Afrobeat. So Afropop is slightly different from Afrobeat. When I say typical Afrobeat, I'm talking about the style that you hear from people like Burna Boy, and that's the style that is a little bit close to what people like Fela used to do and what Seun Kuti, Femi Kuti are still doing, but with a more Afropop type flavor. That makes it really commercial and appealing also on the dance floor. So in this quick tutorial, I'm going to just show you a bit that I made, and I had my artist A Plus Freestyle, do something on the beat. I'll play that later for you, but let me just show you some of the elements that make, Afrobeat. The first thing you need to bear in mind is that Afrobeat is very heavy on percussion. Usually there's a lot that's going on in terms of, the percussive sounds that play. Just essentially you're trying to recreate that live feel. You want it to sound like, you have like real drummers and, real percussionists, playing in a live band. So I have a loop here, which is like my first pattern, which is playing everything, and I'll break it down for you. So that's it. So essentially it's made up of, quite a number of sounds. You have this. And you have this. You have this. You have this. Now for this sound, I have like 4 different sounds that are playing the same pattern, and I'll just unlock all of them. That's what they sound like. So you see, it has that bounce, that groove, it's kind of moving. Then, of course, I have 2 kicks that is playing. I just combined the kicks because I wanted to get a particular feel. I didn't want it to be too boomy, like boom, boom. I wanted it to be more like punchy, straight to your chest. And so this is with the kick. Now one more percussion. So that's this guy. It's light, but it's really contributing to the sound. And I have 2 more percussive sounds. One is a castanet. So you see, when you combine all these sounds together, you have sort of like this you have almost like, an Afrobeat drum loop that you can just go ahead to start to layer other sounds. And then for me, this was the main sound that I added to kind of be the lead sound that drives the beat. So and this comes from Massive. It's preset called Brain Beam. I mean, you can pause the video and check it out later. But yeah, one thing I want to say is that you see I used quite, a lot of swing on this beat. If I take the swing, this is like something like 30%. If I take it back to 0, it doesn't have that groove. Listen. It's there, but the beat is not sort of moving. But once you put swing, some people put as much as 50%. I'm usually cool with 20 to 30%. This is what it sounds like now. So there's like a humanization of the pattern. It's humanized, it's more natural. Some things are slightly delayed, and it just gives it that, live feel. On my the next pattern is essentially my drum pattern. Then I have a bass. This bass comes from Purity. I hardly use this plugin, but yeah, it has a nice analog bass guitar that I use. This one. So it's a very straightforward basic drum bass pattern. I wasn't really in the mood to start playing all those complicated patterns. And for Afrobeat, you really just want something that keeps it moving in the club. Then I have a flute. This is from Expand. Then I have a roll. Okay, and that's from the FPC plugin, and that's the preset right there, HQ Jazz Kit. I use it for rolls. Sometimes I use the rock kit. Sometimes I use the funk kit. It just depends on how I want my rolls to sound. Another roll. Then I have a mute guitar from Nexus. Okay. So those are the main patterns. Now, let me quickly say that I have other sounds in this song. But what I did was now this is FL20. FL20 has a function where I could take this mute pattern, for instance, just right click here and go to consolidate this track. And once you do this, it converts that into wave. And it really helps with, especially sounds that you make with very heavy plugins like Omnisphere, Contact. So now I made a piano sound with Contact. And I also made, lead guitar sound with Contact. And the third sound I had from Contact was the what's that sound now? Was the trumpet sound. So I'm going to play each of those sounds for you so that so when I use Contact is really heavy, right? So usually I try to export it to wave immediately, and then delete the Contact plugin from my project so that the project doesn't hang, or freeze or anything like that. So this is the piano, which really drives the song. Quite simple, quite straightforward. I think this piano is from Alicia Keys or something like that. Can't remember. But yeah, it's one of the libraries in Contact. Then there's this trumpet. So you see, it has that Afro vibe. And this is from Session Horns, I think. It's a library in Contact. And then the last sound, the lead guitars, there are two of them, which I got played in Contact, using, I think it was Strawberry Guitar Library in Contact. So those are the other sounds that were used on the project. So it's basically simple. That's it. That's the project. Of course, the arrangement, I took my time to kind of make it interesting. I also added some effects. For instance, when you get here, you see something like this, and then you hear a voice. Hey! Yeah, so I have all that. Then I did something really interesting at the beginning. I took a pattern. This is one of the things I love about FL20. Now, I took one drum pattern, same pattern one. I started the song with it, but I consolidated it into a wave file, gave it its own channel, and then I used the filter. So let me just bring the mixer so that you see. This is it. So I sent it to its own channel. I worked on the EQ, and then I added to the Fruity Love filter and, tweaked the cutoff, and used I created an automation clip from this cutoff parameter here. And Yeah, I created a feel. So the intro, this is what you get in the intro.
It's down to easy.
So you get that feel. I start with the drums and then I use that filter to kind of make it, give it a very good, interesting intro. So I guess those are the major elements of the beat. So I'm going to play the beat for you, first of all. Then I'll play the freestyle that A Plus did on it.
It's down to easy.
So note that this is very raw. I haven't done any mixing, any serious mixing, balancing, panning. I haven't done all those things. I basically just, when you choose a sample, you just, increase or lower the volume to fit in with the beat. But yeah, hopefully we'll do the main mixing later when we're done with the proper recording. Before I play, the freestyle for you, let me just say that this is the first in a series of videos that I plan to do. And this series is called, Afrobeat, Afropop beat breakdown. And the whole idea is to, take different styles of beat and break it down for you, really short videos to show you how these beats are done. This is mostly for people who are intermediate. So you are not a complete beginner, but of course, you're also not a professional. I'm just going to show you to the best of my ability, how those different styles of beats are made to encourage you, to set you on that path, to creation. But it's ultimately up to you to make, what you think sounds best. So watch out for more videos, in this series. This is what A Plus did on it.
It's down to easy.
Swap. Yeah. I shall no be work, but if you check I'm now hustle. No be everything be sabi, brother. No be by muscle, yeah. Swap. Oh, go. Big you say my man no go sleep, himself no go sleep. Now him start the night vigil, make we see who go win. I know man where the para we go give you a holla in problem. Don't be sorry, be careful, make it for no cause the problem. Wait my eyes you don't see, now him out to the talk. Wait my eyes you don't see, now him up. Good vibes, good vibes. Good vibes is all I feel inside, yeah. Sweet life, good life, yeah. Good life, bad energy stay outside. Judy, the baby like he measure up pancake, forget bros area na area. African monkey, last in mama like a it never finish, it never they sing now who blow. Sabi the team pass. Woman where they find if you myself, I won't go heaven. Good vibes.
All right, guys, that was just a preview, a very long preview. Thanks for watching the video. As usual, I have my information up on screen. If you need anything, shoot me an email and we can talk. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to support me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. Also, I really appreciate if you subscribe after watching this video if you are not already subscribed. And when you subscribe, remember to click the bell, the notification bell beside the subscribe button so that you can get notifications anytime I post videos. Thanks for listening. Have a good one. Bye.